Good to see you out here.
Oh yeah.
Got the sign high above your head. You can run it through your head if you a little bit, and there we go.
Woo! Impeach.
Yeah. And a little 911 truth wouldn't hurt. For what?
We're not going to get the truth researched without an impeachment.
Yep.
That's the only way.
It's like a circular argument, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
if we knew what really happened 9/11, it might bring impeachment. If we go to impeachment, we might know about 9/11.
Yeah, we got to break the little endless loop that doesn't.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we're trying.
Yeah.
And the more we talk about it, the more and more people get involved with it, so are at least aware of it. So.
Joe Walsh has lots of developments he can talk about.
Good, good. Hello.
We're interviewing on that thing.
Hi, hi. How is everybody?
Fine.
Me
Beautiful
too.
day.
Yeah, sunshine.
Sunny.
Here with Joe Walsh out here at Blumenauer's.
Yeah,
The impeachment protest.
we're in our 9th month,
9th month.
and we're hoping for a burst of responsibility from the congressman from the 3rd District. There is an issue that I would really like to talk about, and that's the houseless people that are in front of City Hall. They're not homeless. Some of them are working full-time, some of them aren't. They cannot afford housing. When I first went down there, somewhere around the 29th to 30th of April, there were about 15. Now it's up to about 70. So the
Wow.
word is going through the streets, and this protest is a unique protest because they're saying to the mayor, look, if you have 300 beds available and you got 4,000 people that need them, you're not doing your job. And that's what they want. They don't want people to tell them what to do. They want people to sit down and do two things. They want an intervention now, and they also want some permanency later on. So it seems to me that the mayor could really increase his legacy if he took the reins on this. Instead of just talking about it, get a task force together. Go out and talk to the leaders and say, would you sit down with a task force and try to figure out what we can do together? Don't dictate terms to them. They don't want to go to shelters, and something I didn't know is in shelters you're not allowed to have your animals. If you're married, you're not allowed to stay together. The food apparently is questionable. The way they are treated is questionable. They are treated as a commodity in the shelters. Now, that doesn't mean all the shelters are terrible. However, it's not a solution. It's a Band-Aid. So when the mayor or the city council look at this problem, they have to say, we have citizens that are in the streets. Just like the mayor is a citizen of Portland. So are these people. The sweeps must stop. The
homeless
camping
sweeps?
ordinance must be rescinded until they can figure out what to do with this really complicated problem. This population is not a population you can just come with one regulation because they have different needs. There are veterans there. So they need the veterans involved in the solution. I'm sure that the Veterans for Peace or another veterans group would step up and say, sure, I'll sit on a task force to try to figure out what to do. They need one place to go where they can get some services. The village that the city set up is too far away.
Dignity Village?
Dignity Village is too far away.
And I think it's filled up, and there's a waiting list.
Filled up, there's a waiting list. So what they have to do is to say, number one, how many people do we have sleeping on the sidewalks? How many people do
Look
not
at the
have
numbers.
housing?
Look at the numbers.
The numbers are anywhere from 1,000 to 4,500. Nobody really knows because nobody's ever counted them. So that's what the mayor could do. He could sit down, he could bring groups, get the church groups together, get the civic group together, get the activist groups together, get the veterans together, sit down at a table and say, okay, what is it that you want and what is it that we can do for you? They want dignity, they want independence, and they want to be able to sleep outside if that's their choice. Now, how do we do that? Well, when the Boy Scouts go camping, we figure out a way that they can go camping. Couldn't we do that in the city and say, if you really want to sleep outside and you want your total independence, this is a place for you that's safe, that's clean, that you can take a shower. You can do all the things that we do in our national park. When I go camping in a tent, there's always a place I can use the restroom. There's a place I can take a shower. Why can't we do that for these people? Why is it that politicians over and over again will not think outside the box and say, I don't know all the answers, so let me get some people together who may.
Yeah, and it has to be a priority.
Got to be a priority because it's going to get worse. What's going on now with the mortgages is going to affect the rental housing in Portland. That's going to go up because people coming out of those houses can afford to pay higher rents. So you're going to push the rents up. You're going to push people that are on the brink out into the streets. And we have to figure out a way, what are we going to do with this? You know, we need to set up programs where people can travel down, not dictate what they want, what we want them to do, but give them options. The name of the game is give them options.
Instead of just criminalizing it or saying go somewhere, just get out of my sight.
The other thing is the mayor's got to come out with an order to his chief of police and say, you do not deal with these people any less than you would deal with me. If I'm sitting on the sidewalk, you would not kick me and call me a bum. You would not do that to me. Then why are you doing it to these people?
That's very important, Joe. That's a good point.
Those people are now organized. And there are a number of groups that are going to support them. And the sweeps are going to stop. Now, whether it stops with the present city council or not, I don't know. But here is a message to the city council. You do this with dignity and honor, or you will not be there next year or the year after. That's the message. So you have to say, what is the human thing to do on this? If this was my brother, how would I treat him? And you tell those police officers, if they mistreat these people, they will go to jail. That's what you tell your police. Because you cannot keep this going. Because it's just a little uprising right now, but in 6 months or a year, you're going to have a major problem in this city.
The progressive way to solve this is start dealing with it now.
That's right. You don't put a Band-Aid on it. You do two things. You say, what can we do right now? And then what's the end goal? What's the long-term goal? And the long-term goal is that if people are working, that they have a place to live. If people want to live outside, let them live outside. How do we do that?
You know, Joe, a friend told me that he drove down Burnside Street last night about 11 o'clock and across the bridge, and he said it was lined from just as far as he could see with people sleeping. Yeah. Now, you're telling me up around the City Hall, there's up to 75 people now going clear around the block almost.
According to the...
and I've seen it myself. Now, I don't know the numbers,
about
but...
5 or 6 times, and when I was there yesterday at the City Hall meeting, which I was really ashamed of our politicians.
Really?
I mean, they were so disinterested in this, and it's so outrageous to me when politicians do that, that the mayor made this speech that made no sense at all. He's saying, well, we're working on the problem and we're doing a really good job. Well, you can't tell me you're doing a good job if you got 300 beds and there's 4,500 people in the damn streets.
That's not a good job.
That's not a good job.
Are you urging, Joe, us to call City Hall? Is that something that you've suggested too?
What I'm suggesting to people that are not down in City Hall and are not supporting them, pick up the phone and call the mayor and just say, Mr. Mayor, they are citizens. Treat them well. That should be the message.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, they are citizens. Treat them with dignity. That's the message.
I'm going to do that today. myself, make a phone call down there.
I mean, I'm going to put it out on all my list and all the people that I know that just pick up the phone and call the mayor's office, and we'll see if there's some kind of response. Now, if he thinks this is going away, it's not going away. We will fight this just like we're fighting against the war, just like we're fighting the corruption, just like we're fighting the politicians. And that's why people are just standing up running for office. Here's a warning for all you politicians. People have had enough of you. You either change your ways or you will be on the street. And we will be dealing with you the way you dealt with us.
Well, Joe, you're running for Congress, and there's a little bit of hope there. I like seeing people that got some good ideas that are going to step up to the plate and say, look, if you can't do it, I will.
I'm the first wave. There are about 50 of us across the nation. Just ordinary people that just stood up and say, that's it, I've had it, so what can I do? I have the time, I can run for office. Will I be elected? It's unimportant whether I'm elected or not. It's a message to every other citizen. Look, I had $17 in my checking account when I started this. All right? We put ads on the radio. We're putting ads in the newspapers because people are contributing to the campaign because they're angry. Very angry. Message to the politicians. I'm the first wave. Wait till the second and the third wave come because they're going to take your job. There is a woman in San Francisco by the name of Shirley. She has taken on the most powerful woman in the nation, the Speaker of the House, and she's raised over $100,000. Why? Because people are pissed.
We want change.
We want change. We want Pelosi to respond. We want the mayor to respond. We want Blumenauer to respond. When we have a social problem, we don't want to hear bullshit. What we really want to hear is them to say, how can I help?
Right.
Because that's what we hired them for, to help us.
Now, Joe, I'm going to move along here, but you've been down there a few times, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been down there 4 or 5 times, and
I heard one time you brought some pizzas down there. Is that true?
Yeah, the first day we were there, and this is a warning to anybody that goes down there. Don't tell the people down there what to do. Ask them, what can I do to help? That's the question. What can I do to help? And the first day we were down there, which was 29th to 30th, they said they would really like to have something to eat. So we said, what do you want? They said, well, pizza. So we said, okay. So we went and got them 6 big pizzas and some juices and stuff. And we all sat around and ate pizza. Mm-hmm. So that was kind of cool. Yeah. That's the message that I'm saying to everybody that hears this or looks at this. Don't tell them what to do. Ask them how you can support them.
Listen to what they're saying.
Listen to what they're saying, because they're very sharp. Mm-hmm. Very sharp. Yeah. And we brought them down some posters and markers so they could get their message out. Mm-hmm. And it is a protest. It's not a campsite. And that's the problem for the city. They don't know what to do with this because they are protesting and they do have signs. They're conforming to all reasonable requests by the city. They're very careful about not blocking the sidewalk. They're cleaning up the place. They're doing everything possible to keep the city off their backs.
You know, Joe, it's another thing. They're operating off of whatever they can carry with them. They don't have offices and bank accounts and all these host of equipment and tools and cars and supplies and computers. They're operating just after whatever they have with them.
Right.
And like you mentioned too, it's a community. They are a community. They're part of our community.
They meet every night to make decisions. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
All of them get together and make major decisions. So, for instance, there's no alcohol, there's no drugs. Uh-huh. They keep the sidewalk clean. They bounce people out if the people get out of things. They have their own set of rules. They are setting up a very basic grassroots type of community. And they meet every night and they discuss their problems. You know, they are doing it better than we do.
Yeah. We need to embrace them. And our community at large, our government, city council needs to embrace that and work with them. Learn from it and work with them. We all need to work together.
Yeah, on a lot of levels, they're way ahead of us.
Yeah.
I mean, the way they treat the animals, I counted at least 5 or 6 animals. And the way they treat their animals, you can see the compassion and generosity in these people, the way they treat their animals.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And I always say that if you really want to know somebody, look at their animals, how they react. So if you got a really vicious person, the dog is going to be vicious. All right? And all of the animals down there are very gentle. They're very cooperative. They just love whoever that their companion is.
Uh-huh.
They go everywhere.
There's love going on in there.
There's
Yeah.
love going on. And Mayapata, instead of being condescending, should learn from them. Because they're doing it correctly. They are interacting with each other the way it should be done. All right? And again, just, to say to people, don't go down there and dictate.
Right.
Learn. Go down there and stand around and just say hello. I'm here to support you. And, and just watch what's going on. You'll be amazed.
Solidarity of being down there, too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Joe, for your insight on that. And you're hot on the topic there.
Well, there's also another candidate that's running down there. Jeff actually spent the night with these guys. I'm too old and I can't do it. And my wife would have a coronary if I spent the night on the street. But Jeff actually spent the night with them, and they were so impressed with that.
Yeah, Jeff's running for Sam Adams' seat.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's running for Sam Adams' seat, and people ought to look at that act. Now, you can hear politicians say, well, we should do this and we should do that and we're going to do this. But when someone spends the night with total strangers on the streets of Portland, that's impressive to me.
It impressed me too. Yes, it did.
He's got my vote.
Yep.
Got my vote on just on that one issue.
Yep.
Because I know this guy is someone who can feel some pain. And these people are in pain.
Yep.
And he felt it, and he said, okay, what can I do? And he thought outside the box. He said, I'll just stay here and spend the night. And he's also was at the city council. And he was also there. Every time I'm there, I see him. So
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
Bisonet or something?
Bisonet. I think that's how you pronounce it.
I interviewed him down there the other day, too. I have a short little video on YouTube of him and me talking
I saw the
to him.
video on that, and he's an impressive guy.
Yeah.
So, just another guy that I'm really going to feel good about voting for.
Good.
So.
May I add a very small footnote?
Uh-huh.
The Hollywood Theater tonight is having a benefit. It's called something like Outside the Cardboard Box. I believe there's going to be some question and answer. There's a short documentary. They will have some people there. I'm not quite sure, but
Yeah,
it's tonight.
It's tonight, so we may hear the report afterwards by the time they see the video here today.
Yeah, but yeah,
but at least
the
we're
Hollywood Theater's doing something with
Good.
better than doing nothing.
Good. And maybe there's some more info we can collect from there and share with
do
everybody.
It again if we publicize. Yeah,
Good.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. I got to roll. Thanks, Joe, for being out here on the street.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
There's the camera.
This question.
Hi.
Hello.
Can I interrupt you guys quickly? I heard you have...
You've been down to City Hall?
Hello. They do the old fist thing. That's what the kids do these days.
Have you been down?
I've been down to City Hall, not
What's
inside, but I've been going outside.
What's happening?
Just the kids are all out there, and young people, old
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
all kinds of variety of people, and they're wanting housing. They're wanting transitional housing. They want to be allowed to not be hassled if they choose to sleep on the street. And they have simple demands, and they want a little respect and compassion and community. That's what I think is going on.
Yeah. But I mean, they've been saying, "Oh, we got Dignity Village. Get over there."
Dignity's full.
Yeah.
It's a waiting list, from what I've been told.
Yeah.
One of the guys on the street down there told me they were saying go out to Gresham. Just 2 days before I heard that guy tell me that, the Gresham newspaper told of a big raid of the camp out there where they crushed a lady, jumped on her, broke her ribs, and she's suing. So what?
What?
Yeah, they went out there and called them names and rousted a camp up and said you can't sleep here, blah, blah, blah. A lady resisted somewhat, maybe, and they dogpiled on her, held her down, and they in turn hurt her pretty bad. They called her names. So this is, while I'm talking to guys down there, they're telling us to go to Gresham. I'm thinking, excuse me? Gresham just beat somebody up for doing this.
You have my tune, what did I call it? Impeach City Hall.
City Hall.
Oh, this is fairly new.
What's that? Right, it's called I Wrote It at Midnight last night. Because
It's that new.
I went to an open mic last night at Proper Reads in St. John's, and I was so, wired when I got home. I just lay there with my eyes wide open and said, oh my God, I got to do something here. So I wrote a song. So I've been tweaking it. I don't know if it's going to work, Joe, but we'll try it.
Okay.
Let's impeach City Hall. Let's get the guys who have it all. They live their lives of comfort behind a garden wall. They don't want us to sit, and they don't want us to lie. They want us to move on, move out. They want to wave bye-bye, bye-bye, goodbye. If they kick you off the streets because you've nowhere else to go, where do you go but City Hall for people in the know? The mayor and his team should buy some hammers and some nails, help them build some houses instead of jails. Let's impeach City Hall, let's get the guys who have it all. They live their lives of comfort behind a garden wall. They don't want us to sit, and they don't want us to lie. They want us to move on, move out. They want to wave bye-bye, bye-bye, goodbye. Nice to meet you, hello, goodbye. If they can't solve this problem, why should they get paid? Instead of going home, let them camp out for Rose Parade. Oh, if they kick you off the streets because you've nowhere else to go, where do you go but City Hall for people in the know? Let's impeach City Hall, let's get the guys who have it all. They live their lives of comfort behind a garden wall. They don't want us to sit, and they don't want us to lie. They want us to move on, move out. They want to wave bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Let's impeach City Hall. Let's get the guys who have it all. They live their lives of comfort behind a garden wall. They don't want us to sit, and they don't want us to lie. They want